a look now, we can see that floodwaters have receded considerably. However, there are still some roadways that do have some water over them, including this one off of Coastal Highway. While the storm is now over, for many people, the process of cleaning up and assessing the damage is now just beginning. Reporting from Chapter 16 over Delmarva, Corrina, Pysa, WBOC News.
Yeah, a lot of flooding, a lot of people still displaced tonight because of that. Now, Hurricane Sandy is officially one of the worst storms on record, with total damage estimates exceeded the top $20 billion.
At the beach in Ocean City, Sandy gave the boardwalk quite a beating. Many businesses were left with significant water damage, and on the bay side, homes and restaurants flooded. As WBOC's Angelica Spanos reports, today, Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley visited the boardwalk to get a look at the damage.
Gallons and gallons of water pumped out of the basement of Tony's Pizza.
I was nowhere near prepared for what hit us.
Tony Rousseau's basement is filled with up to 4 feet of water from Sandy. Rousseau says it'll take him a day to pump it all out. On the beach, crews already begin pushing sand away from the seawall, and the boardwalk renovation project continues. You can see the water line on the door of this Candy Kitchen. Manager Robin Zinn says it's incredible she didn't spend the day cleaning up.
We all thought that we would come in and be assessing what was damaged and, you know, getting rid of the wet stuff, and instead we came in and there was a little sand on the floor.
Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan tells Governor Martin O'Malley routine beach replenishment is what saved the boardwalk.
And during this storm, we had no damage to the boardwalk and very little, if any, minor damage to any properties north of the boardwalk. So it proves that that beach replenishment project was a good investment by the federal government, the state, and a local area here in Ocean City.
But the beach could not protect the pier. Sandy snapped some pilings and took about 100 feet of it out to sea. As the cleanup continues, many say Ocean City was lucky.
Yesterday we were dodging all kinds of stuff on the road, boards and everything. Today it's all, you know, it's all swept up and cleaned up, and you know, everybody's getting back to business.
Back to business for a town that does business so well. In Worcester County, Angelica Spanos, WBOC News.
And there's no estimate yet on a price tag for how much damage will cost from Superstorm Sandy in Worcester County.
In Crisfield, again tonight, residents are warned not to drink the tap water. Health Department officials say use bottled or boiled water until further notice in the Somerset County community. Tap water could be contaminated from the flood. The Health Department says bringing the water to a boil for at least 1 minute will make it safe to drink in Crisfield.
For now, Assateague Island in Worcester County remains closed to the public as national park officials continue to assess Sandy's impact. But today we're getting our first glimpse of how things look on the ground. WBOC's Mike Parker has the story.
So for now, I'm going to have to be your eyes out here, as earlier today I got some exclusive access riding along with the National Park Service as we assess just how Hurricane Sandy has impacted this beloved natural island. For the first time since Sandy made landfall, on Wednesday, authorized vehicles were allowed to cross the Verrazano Bridge, leading onto Assateague.
Well, in terms of the road here, not bad.
Rachel Dagnott with the National Park Service was also assessing the storm's impact for the first time and made it clear that on a natural island, what happens after a natural event like Sandy isn't all to be considered damage.
When we talk about the island, we're talking about changes that we expect to occur, impacts that change the environment. When we talk about our developed areas, we're talking about buildings.
And boardwalks, like this one on the island's bayside, and this section of parking lot reduced to chunks. On our way to inspect the ocean side of the island, we see one of the encouraging signs we've been waiting for. Resilient wildlife, like this white-tailed deer, have weathered the storm, as have the herd of wild horses, so dear to so many.
The horses have been here for 300 years. They've not only survived that period, they have thrived during that period. It will take some time to determine where each of the bands is and what's occurred. while we've been gone.
On the coast, white sand has been blown from the surface, leaving heavier black grains in its place. And what looks like a seashell scavenging paradise also bears its scars. Years ago, someone with very good intentions strapped together a bunch of old car tires to form an artificial reef offshore. Well, nature had other plans. And you can see there are now hundreds of these old tires that have come to rest on the beach. While it could take weeks to clean up trash and debris from beaches and roads, Sandy's impact on Assateague isn't as bad as perhaps it could have been. And portions of the state park are set to reopen Thursday morning, with the national park on schedule for a noontime Friday reopening. Reporting from Assateague Island in Worcester County, I'm Mike Parker, WBOC News.
As Sussex County's Bureau Chief Michael Lepardi reports, cleanup could take days.
Piles of debris lined the Rehoboth Bay. Pieces of the dock were washed ashore by the storm. Throughout Dewey Beach, cleanup crews outnumbered the visitors.
I would say they probably have a week's worth of cleanup, easy. I mean, that's just cleaning the streets and the sidewalks and returning all the personal property that kind of was sent wherever.
Hours after the storm, Gary Chandler started pumping water out of his crawl space. Water from the bay had already filled the western side of town.
This is probably the worst that I've seen it, because I mean this is the first time, so the dock's gone, so obviously this would have to rank as, you know, 95 I've been here since, so this is, you know, this is the longest, the worst one I've seen, so.
Homeowners returned to their properties to survey the damage. Video shortly after the storm shows Dewey underwater. By Wednesday, most of that water had receded.
A good number of homes down along the bay, the cottages, the lower cottages, did take water.
Neighbors say the cleanup is a community effort.
We'll all get together here as a town and, you know, get it cleaned up and back to normal.
Sandy came and went, but the cleanup will likely take much longer. Reporting in Sussex County, Michael Lepardi, WBOC News, Dewey Beach.
And the Indian River Inlet Bridge remains closed at this hour as crews continue to clear all that sand from Route 1 in Sussex County.
Authorities in Wycomico County need your help finding